Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Where the Ring with Bob. I don't know why I started it off creepy. I'm in a weird mood these days. Um, okay, so I wanted to give you a heads up first because I've been meaning to say this for like the last 4 or 5 videos. Um, just that my videos will probably be a little less frantic over the coming little while because you know how you go through phases of being excited about a game and less excited about a game. I'm just not as excited about War of the Ring right now, so I'm not as jumping up and down to make videos about it anyway. So um, yeah, and I kind of feel like I've said everything that I want to say about it, So I'm still going to cover my tournament games and maybe an odd game here and there. That's a lot of fun, but that's just probably not that many games because yeah, like it's not my full time job, so I don't have to do it if I don't feel like it. But I do feel committed to showing my tournament games or league playoff games, just because only showing those when I win would feel what's the word? Like dishonest, and like I'm only here to show off when I win, So if I lose a tournament or a league playoff game, I am still gonna make a video about that, whether I want to or not. But anyway, there's a life update with Bob. Moving on. So I'm up against Hakuna Matata this round. I almost ran into him in the Lone League tournament last year. Not the Lone League tournament. So the Lords of Middle Earth regular knockout tournament. I remember he almost made the semifinals on the other end. And I made the semifinals and then lost. So that was great. Okay, so for game one, we just talked and decided that he'd go Shadow first this time, and I'm Free People's first this time. So I got Help Unlooked For and Mirror of Galadriel. Very happy to see Mirror of Galadriel. Like, if I get to pick a character card out of the deck for turn one, I'm picking this one. Just because there's that chance that if the Shadow player messes something up, you might get Gandalf the White turn one. And it makes it very much more likely you get him turn two or turn three. Like, as soon as Saruman is in and Gandalf is dead, it just makes it so much more likely you can get him back. So, very happy to see that. He has Shadow Lengthens and Candles of Corpses, both pretty good cards too. So, okay, Fellowship, okay. He puts in one eye and he rolls no more, and I roll this beautiful roll of CCCW. So this is one of the rare moments where I will concede it was the right call to allocate an eye this time. I've said famously, famously, there's like 200 people that watch this. I've said before anyway that the Shadow player should always allocate 0 eyes turn one in the base game. And I stand by that. I still believe that is the slightly more accurate way to play. But I'll be darned if this isn't the 2% scenario where it was absolutely you're better off having allocated an eye. Because if this eye had been something else, then I'd get 4 movement for free. I don't even have to spend a ring. That's a hot start for the Fellowship for sure. That being said, he also has a good start. Like, he's got Saruman easy and then some army movements after it. So that's pretty good. I pass. He musters Isengard down. He moves Barad-dûr army down. I move the Fellowship, and I'm safe. He brings Sauron to war. I move the Fellowship again, and I'm hit this time. Frustrating. And it's an eye, so it's one reveal. So the plus side is at least I rolled enough movement that I can hide and move again this turn. So I don't need to rush losing Gandalf right now anyway, because I have enough movement that I can hide. And especially if there's, a good chance I'm going to be revealed in and through Moria, keeping Gandalf as a meat shield to lose feels like it makes a lot of sense to me. There is also a chance that he got Saruman right here after seeing me not lose Gandalf. And then if I was feeling crazy, I could have separated Gandalf with the character die and got Gandalf the White turn one. But he correctly did not get Saruman into place. I didn't have to debate whether that was the right call or not. So I hide the Fellowship. He runs into Old Forest Road here, which always feels nice if you can get in without this regular getting in the way. I could have used my Will of the West to walk that regular in, but without scouts in hand, it seemed unlikely to be worth it, and I might just be making it easier for him to get the Witch King. So that, as opposed to moving again and hopefully killing Gandalf, it just seemed better to keep moving. So I move and I miss, and then I get a hit. So it's very debatable to me, anyway, whether putting that orc on the Fellowship here was good or not. Like, it did, it caused the hit here, but did you really want to hit? I mean, yeah, I guess maybe you did. Like, well, let's click forward. It's a 3, so that was perfect for me. But if it had been, like, I don't know, a 1 reveal and then revealed into Moria and then another one, then that would be great corruption value, and I would be, stuck choosing whether to lose Gandalf or not. So never mind. Maybe putting an orc on me was the right call, and I just got lucky here. Anyway, in comes Saruman, and we move on to the next turn. So I get Fear Fire Foes and Athelos. Great cards. He gets Lidless Eye and Corsairs. I'll give you a hint. One of those is better than the other. Anyway. Yeah, okay, it's 1 eye and rolls 2 more, and I roll beautifully. I roll Will of the West anyway, and 1 movement and 2 Palantirs, which is meh. So I move right away just in case. I think, especially when you're sitting on movement where you would be revealed into Moria, move, run. Don't give him a chance to reveal you into Moria, because if he played Orc Patrol or Nazgul Search or Nazgul Strike, like anything that might reveal me, and then I land in Moria, that's so much worse. Like, I wouldn't care if it was at 5 eyes and this was my 3rd movement to get me past Moria. I'm moving anyway. I really don't want to get revealed into Moria. Revealed past Moria is okay. Revealed into Moria is a nightmarish corruption delay. Just don't do it. So anyway, I move and I'm safe. Life is good. He moves Nazgul around, some to Old Forest Road and 1 more to put on me there, just in case I was thinking about moving with the ring. Okay, so he attacks Woodland Realm, sieges it. I draw a strategy card here. So what I'm hoping to do here is get Gandalf the White. I'm going to put him in the Grey Havens and then use this Palantir to play Fear Fire Foes. But I'm wondering to myself about whether that actually makes sense, or am I just giving him the Witch King earlier? Yeah, it's a tough call. So anyway, I draw a strategy card first here because I don't want to reveal that I'm playing Fear Fire Foes first. I would rather have him attack Woodland Realm first so that I can, play Fear Fire Foes, get the North to War, and at least muster 1 elite at the start of next turn. So I draw a card first, and it's Faramir's Rangers. He draws a card. It's the other Shadows Gather, so he has both of them in hand right now. That's pretty cool. Wow, 2 Mumakil and Corsairs cards. That is an epic Southron's hand right there. Anyway, so now in comes Gandalf at Grey Havens. He shuffles armies along, and then I think about it, and I think, you know what? He's not actually that close to having any nation at war, and I don't want to give it to him right now. So I choose not to play Fear Fire Foes, and especially since he just moved this army towards Gondor, I go ahead and just play Faramir's Rangers here instead. Because, it feels nice to get those troops on the board, too. Southrons get mustered to war, and off we go on to the next turn. I pick up decent cards again. He picks up Lure of the Ring and New Powers Rising. If he throws out anything but Lidless Eye, I'm flying to somewhere in Eastern Europe to slack him. But he throws out Lidless Eye. Correct. Good call. Okay, he declares in Dimrill Dale. Fellowship, okay. He allocates 1 eye and rolls 2 more and 3 musters and 1 attack. And I roll a bunch of movement and 2 Palantirs. So this is a fantastic turn for the Free Peoples, of course. So here we go. So I move, and I'm safe. That's lovely. He musters the Southrons to war. I move again, and I'm hit this time, and it's a 0 reveal. So, away I reveal. So it feels so nice being on low corruption and having Athelos in hand. So, if I get hit by, a 2 or a 3, I'll just eat the corruption, because I don't care. I want an excuse to play Athelos right now anyway. So, just one of those blessings that the game may or may not give you sometimes. He attacks Woodland Realm. He plays a strategy card. So what he's doing here, I think, is he wants to attack it once, bring the elves down a step closer to war. Be right back. Now we're back. What to do? Right, I was explaining. He's attacking Woodland Realm here in the hope that, attacking it will lower the elves 1 step down closer to war, and then fully conquering it will bring them another step to war. And once they're at war, then he can, get the Witch King, because he only has 1 attack. If he had 2 attacks, he could just attack twice, and he's fine. But anyway, so because he's doing that, I'm looking at my cards thinking, I would really, really like to make him not conquer Woodland Realm right now. So I see that's a strategy card. I think about Shield Wall, but I'm still hoping to play Fear Fire Foes as, for the event here. So I play Confusion instead, because sometimes that helps, And he rolls a 1. So that's okay. That's about what you'd expect anyway. I guess 1 other hit, and I roll 1. So 2 hits to him. Great Host still triggers, so he presses and just need 1 hit here. Fortunately, I have the perfect card for that of Heroic Death. So he rolls his 1/6, and I'm very, very happy with my card here. I don't get a hit back, which is a bit of a bummer. Hit back there would have helped a lot. But, oh well. So Fellowship hides again. He musters more Nazgul. Fellowship moves again. They get hit. 2 reveal. Like I said, that's fine. I have Athlos, so I don't mind. He plays Lure of the Ring here and gets Boromir. And I point out how delightfully thematic that is. That's like right near the Falls of Rauros. Like we're on the wrong side of the Anduin, but it's still really close, you know. I think happening in East Emnet or maybe Parth Celebrant would be the most thematic place, but still Boromir getting hit by Lure of the Ring, like that's so good. Like you can't really ask for much better than that. Okay, so Fellowship hides and he musters an Oliphant in South Ruin. So now I'm I don't know. Maybe it would have made more sense to play Fear Fire Foes like 2 turns ago and make a mess of this for him, but at the same time, he still doesn't have the Witch King now. So I don't know. This game does a great job of torturing you with trade-offs and stuff. So Fellowship, okay, he allocates 1 eye, rolls 1 more. I only rolled 1 movement, though. So that's a little bit of a bummer. If I'd rolled 2 movement, then I'd have a chance at getting into Mordor this turn, but as it is, there is no hope. So I go ahead and move before I put the reroll on me because I don't need to rush and do anything else. I'm safe. He plays Candles here and gets 1 hit. There's up some more Oliphants in North Rune. I play Axe and Bow. So again, he has 1 attack here. So I was really hoping that he was going to attack Woodland Realm and then get the Witch King, and then I'd have been able to play Fire Foes and then muster up 2 elites here in Dale and then play Help Unlooked For. That would have been so strong. And that's if he'd attacked Woodland Realm and hadn't killed that elf. That would have been huge. But sadly, that's not quite how things went. He did a good job, very wisely, didn't rush attacking Woodland Realm here. I think that's mainly because he had Corsairs and he decided that he wanted to get that ready before he put the elves to war anyway, just in case I had Círdan. So I play Athelas, I get 2 healing, feels nice. He gets his troops together. Oh, no. Okay, so he moved to Umbar and moved this army out into South Ithilien. That's what he ended up doing. Okay, so I move Dwarf into South Rune and the Rohan army out to West Emnet, and then he plays Corsairs. And I play Imrahil. I guess I didn't actually need to rush Imrahil right here. I could have done something else because he has a muster and no ring, so I could play Imrahil at the start of next turn too. But I guess it also just, what if I roll 2 Wills of the West next turn and no character dice? Like, it feels good to still be able to move with a Will of the West right away, so I don't have to live in terror of Day Without Dawn and then risk letting him take Dol Amroth with just 3 regulars in it. So that's why Imrahil shows up now. And he musters 2 more regulars in North and South Rune, and we move on to the next turn. Okay, so I have Bilbo's Song and Kindred of Glorfindel here. He allocates 1 eye and rolls 1 more and a bunch of musters and army movements there. So I was super happy to see this roll because he has no Palantirs and no character dice and no rings. So no matter what happens this turn, I can promise you I'm not giving him a ring because I don't want to give him a chance to be able to play, Cruel Weather, Nazgul Strike, like any of those nasty cards to make your life worse on your way into Mordor. So I'm if I don't give him a ring, I'm guaranteed to get into Mordor this turn. So anyway, I think about it and I decide I might as well go ahead and move the Fellowship now, and I get hit, which is annoying, and it's a 3. That is also annoying. I decided to take a random here. So I didn't want to use Axe and Bow first in case I drew Strider. I've done that before. And even if it is Legolas or Gimli, you need to lose both of them before you lose Axe and Bow. So I take a random, and it's a Hobbit. So that's a little bit unfortunate for going up to Corruption from that. But that's not the end of the world, though. Then he musters up Orthanc a little bit. I pass. He attacks Woodland Realm. No card. He gets his 1/6 just barely at the end. Oh, that would have been great for me if that had held on, but oh well. So now the elves are at war, which I found a little bit surprising, but I guess he can't really attack Woodland Realm right now since he can't move his Nazgul leadership down there. That's pretty frustrating, huh? Anyway. Okay, so I move the Fellowship again, and they very much get hit, and it's the other 3. So we're just getting to Mordor now. We haven't actually been hit that much, but it's been all 3 of the 3s. And a 2 reveal, 0 reveal eye. So that's just, it's remarkable that all 3 of the 3s are gone. So I'm on the plus side, I'm a little less scared of Isildur's Bane. On the downside, 3s. So yeah, so I take another random. It's Gimli this time. That's okay. Now I got to use axe and bow next time, or if I take another random, then I risk losing Legless, and it just goes by without having done anything. So. Okay, there's the Witch King. Finally, it's turn 5. I almost made it to Mordor before the Witch King showed up, but here he is. Okay, he attacks Ford Devisen, and he plays a strategy card. So I was thinking about playing Fear Fire Foes here just to increase the odds that one of them survives and gets to run to West Emnet so that I could use a character die to get these troops into Helm's Deep. But I don't know. I just felt like if he's playing a strategy card here, there's a good chance that it's Swarm of Bats, because there's a good chance that I would have scouts by now. So if he had Swarm of Bats, he would probably play it here to cancel my scouts. So I decided to play Advantageous Position instead, which worked out greatly. So I got to use that against Swarm of Bats instead. So he rolled 1-6 and then not another one. So that helped. And I got 2 hits back. So good job, Theodred there. So he stops, which I think makes sense, because if you press it there, then these guys run away to West Emnet and the whole army gets to Helm's Deep. I muster up in Gondor because I have some crazy pipe dreams of maybe this army getting attacked, retreating to Pelargir, then moving to Lamedan and getting to play Help Unlooked For, because there's 4 units in here, so he would only get to roll 1 die, and then I'd have this whole army beating away at the Southern army until it retreated. So that's why I mustered there like that. Anyway, reasonable options could have also been, playing Fear Fire Foes, or I don't know, maybe mustering in Lorien, or maybe mustering an Elite in Minas Tirith, or maybe even mustering Rohan down. There's a lot of reasonable options there. Okay, so he gets his army together in Eastrune. I play my blue tile, and he moves towards Erebor. Okay, and on we go to the next turn. And in classic fashion, now he picks up Cruel Weather. Oh, that is typical. Like, he couldn't have played it last turn anyway, as I mentioned, but still, just like the game just taunts you sometimes, If I were him, I'd probably chuck out The King is Revealed, just because all these, like, it's a decent card, just all these other cards are better. Yeah, he chucked out that one. Yeah. Okay, so 1 eye in and 1 more rolled, and only 3 attacks and 4 Palantirs. That being said, when you have Ringwraiths Abroad and Grant and 2 Shadows Gathers and Hill Trolls in hand, like 4 Palantirs isn't that bad. Like, you can still use those pretty effectively. And I roll that. So, wow, am I glad he didn't have Day Without Dawn, huh? Hi. Hi, so you heard me say hi at the end right there, huh? Yeah, that was me saying hi to a customer that came in. Anyway, what was I thinking? Right, so we just started this turn, and there's my little uh-oh, because I'm terrified that he has Day Without Dawn. So I have these 3 Wills of the West, and in theory, I could use a ring to change 1 into something else, and then use 1, which I think if I was going to dunk this turn, I think that would be good. But at the same time, like with those 4 Palantirs, like I didn't know his hand was that good, so I didn't want to give him a ring, and there's decent odds he doesn't have it. Like, there's still 17 cards in his deck. So anyway, so then there's a choice, like, do I move the troops over? Because, like, he was just thinking about, going after Helm's Deep. And also moving these troops over for my Help Unlooked For plan. It's also an option. So anyway, I end up just moving the Fellowship first. It's a 1 reveal, so that's perfectly pleasant. I use Axe and Bow now. He plays Ringwraiths Are Abroad, moves his Nazgul leadership over to attacking Erebor. Makes sense. I had the Fellowship with the Palantir, because I'm thinking if he had Day Without Dawn, he probably would have played it right now. So then he put down another Palantir, and it's like, oh boy. Did he have Day Without Dawn, and he knew I was going to hide with the Palantir, but he didn't. He had Grunt, so here we are. And then he opens with Cruel Weather. I thought that he might have had it all game and couldn't get to play it, but turns out he just picked it up right now anyway. So he gets 2 hits. That's not bad. I get 2 hits, also not bad, but I think overall better deal for Shadow. Okay, so then he plays We Come to Kill against Shield Wall, and he just barely rolls 2 6s to validate my Shield Wall, and I get 4 hits back. So then some feisty dwarves up there. And then he gets 2 post rolls with his We Come to Kill. Miss. And then Advantageous Position against Mumakil. So that feels good, playing Advantageous against Mumakil. He still gets 2 hits, and I also get 2 hits. So that's the the Muma kill is just barely thwarted from getting its third hit and finishing off the stronghold. But he can still downgrade an elite and press again. And I'm out of good cards to play at this point. Yeah, like I could play no quarter, but like that doesn't make any difference. So he gets a 6. I get 1 hit back, but it doesn't really matter. Seeing that Erebor fell pretty quickly, Frodo decides to run faster. So we go up Mordor again, and it's the other one reveal. So this time I just eat the corruption. Like I could take a random and hope for the Hobbit, but losing Strider to a 1 would just feel really dumb. So yeah, 1 damage and revealed, and there we are. He draws a character card. It's a red tile. I hide. So this surprised me here just because I thought that if he'd had a red tile, he would have played her. I guess he just drew 1 from Grond. So anyway, now he puts in the ring is mine. I pass again, and then he puts in another red tile. So I was a little blown away by that. Yeah. Anyway, so now he moves Nazgul leadership back down to Dol Amroth. And this decision in hindsight didn't really make a lot of sense. Like, okay, so moving the troops to Fords of Isen makes sense, but moving those troops to Pelargir didn't make a ton of sense, honestly. I'm still hoping to move over to Lameton and then play Help Unlooked For, but like, am I really going to get there before this army blows up Dol Amroth? Like, that's very unlikely. That like takes 2 more dice from me, and he might see it coming and just attack me anyway. So, anyway, so he, I believe, goes ahead and attacks Dol Amroth. Yeah, he attacks Dol Amroth and uses the other Muma kill here. And it goes even worse. This one gets 0 hits, and I get 2. So that is a fantastic start for the Free Peoples. So he redraws into a Desperate Battle, which is a fantastic card, yeah. And he gets 3 hits this time, and I get 2 hits back. So, yeah, he continues pressing. No card, no card. He gets 2 more 6s, so that's the end of Dol Amroth. So I'm starting to feel a little more nervous here anyway, because suddenly he's at 6 points. So all he needs is like Dale and Rohan, or Dale and the rest of Gondor, or like some combination of 3 points from down south here anyway. So anyway, still, yeah. Wow, he picks up Morgul Wound and Denethor's Folly. That's got to be some of the worst cards. Actually, I guess Denethor's Folly is okay here for, that helps for going after Minas Tirith. And Delvery of Orthanc is okay as a combat card. It's still just like it's generally regarded as one of the worst strategy cards, though. So anyway, okay, so 1 eye in, and also last turn he didn't roll any musters. Forgot to touch on that. So like that was the first turn he could have gotten the mouth, and just no musters. And I still haven't given him a ring yet this game. So I roll 2 movement but no musters. So I'm very lucky that I picked up Guards of the Citadel right there, or Minas Tirith would have been a lot more vulnerable. Like I was just thinking, like I'll have warning if he attacks those Gillets, so I can muster in an elite, but I just didn't roll any musters this turn. So, lol. Yeah. So I go ahead and move just in case he picked up more red tiles, of course. So 0 reveal. So I'm happy to see that. He attacks Osgiliath from South Athilian. No card. So he gets not a hit and presses, and I decide to retreat to Pelargir, which is a little bit of a giveaway that I have Guards of the Citadel, but at the same time, I'd rather have that 5th unit because it makes Pelargir that much tougher, And it feels bad, retreating the regular to Minas Tirith just to play Guards of the Citadel and discard that regular anyway. So, okay, so I use Strider's ability to hide with the Palantir. Then he attacks Dale from Woodland Realm, and he kills him, and he doesn't get a hit back. So, yeah, now the North is most of the way to war. So much for my Great Fear Fire Foes plan. So I move again, and it's one of the 2 red tiles in there. So it was 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 20% odds. That's not insane that I hit 1. It still feels bad though. Okay, so 1 corruption and back for me. Again, I'm not going to take a random because I really would like to keep Strider's hiding ability here. So he fought for a while in this one and eventually attacks Fords. So it's funny the things you can see in hindsight. I was thinking to myself, oh no, he has fighting Uruk-hai and probably a deadly strife, and he's going to kill me. He only has 1 strategy card, Bob, you moron. Anyway, so I was still worried about fighting Uruk-hai here for sure. So he attacks Fords of Isen. I play Sudden Strike because if I do get 1 hit, then that reduces his leadership because he has to lose the elite. But I miss, so oh well. He gets 1 hit. I get 0, so that feels bad. He presses. I retreat to Helm's Deep naturally. I draw a first a shadow character card, then a free people's character card because I was hoping for an Ents card here because what seemed the most likely path of destruction was that this army is going to try to take Helm's Deep. Unlikely, but possible. And then this army should be enough to take Pelargir by itself and just forget about Minas Tirith. So I was thinking drawing an Ent card or two would help a lot because this army is not that strong. So if I got a good Ents Rage or Nameless Wood in there, that would help a lot. So I drew a character card and got theirs another way, which is okay. Like I'm not that close to Gollum right now, so it's probably just going to be a heroic death. So yeah, and then he besieges Minas Tirith. So I was a little surprised by that, but maybe he was getting hopeful that I didn't have Guards of the Citadel. Yeah, like if he did manage to, take Minas Tirith in one shot with the character die, then this army could walk in and take Edoras. So that is a way that could have won. So I used my left Palantir to play Guards of the Citadel, though, so now it's even more difficult for that army to try to take Minas Tirith in one shot here. So instead, he decides to close up Rohan and hope I can't finish next turn, which is like if my dice suck and I hit another red tile, that's an option. Yep. So he besieges Helm's Deep and then walks to conquer the rest of it with his last two army dice there. So he's on 8 points, and this army with the reinforcements from Minas Tirith is certainly enough to take Helm's Deep. So I really need to dunk next turn, unless he rolls like no attacks. Yeah. So I say Fellowship, okay, one eye goes in, no more eyes go in, and a lot of attacks. So he could definitely get to 10 points this turn, and I roll one movement, which is hopefully just barely enough. Because I have Strider's ability to hide, and I can use a ring to move a second time. So as long as I don't hit any reds, I should still be able to dunk. And I even more luckily, I just picked up Mithril Coat Instinct, which is 10 out of 10, the best card I could have asked for right here. So I hide with the muster. He draws a character card, which I think makes sense because, you only need like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 1, 2 to walk over, maybe 3 to bring the Witch King, 4 attacks to finish that. So, and yet I guess you need a character die to play a card. You really need me to hit a red tile to win this turn, though. So drawing for more red tiles makes sense. Then I put Mithril Coat and Sting down. I debated for a while here about whether I ought to move or whether I ought to play Mithril Coat and Sting first, because he just drew a card, and there's 2 more red tiles out there, and there's 14 cards. So it's 1 in 7 that he just drew one, as opposed to 1 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 in 10 anyway that I hit the red tile. But yeah, just the idea of moving and hitting that red tile and losing the game on the spot when I could have played Mithril Coat first was just a little too horrifying. So I decided to play Mithril Coat first. Turns out he did not pick up another red tile. So now he attacks Lamden and is just cycling character cards, which I think is absolutely the correct choice here. He kills the guy. I don't get a hit back. I move the Fellowship because I can see he's cycling, so obviously I want to move before he draws more red tiles. And it's an eye, which is possibly the best result. Well, no, the -1 clearly would have been better, but it only does 1 damage as opposed to those 2s. With the 2s, I'd have to be a little bit more worried, but yeah. Anyway, so I just eat the 1 because I really need to keep Strider to hide again, otherwise I can't win this turn. He attacks Pelargir to cycle another card, and I go ahead and play Bilbo's Song here because since there's Mithril Coat and Sting on the board, and there's only 1 red tile in there, and none of them will kill me, I am guaranteed to win when I move, unless he can put in another red tile. So I'm playing Bilbo's Song here specifically with the hope that if I do kill the Witch King, then he doesn't get to redraw again. So if I do kill the Witch King here, it guarantees a win for me. And anyway, I'm in good enough health, I find it very unlikely that I could get to a point where I'd need to play this, so that's why I'm playing it here, try to kill the Witch King. So he rolls 2 6s, which is a good start, and then no more hits, and I roll 2 hits on the roll, and then only 1 hit on the leader reroll. So it would have been lucky to get 2 hits and kill the Witch King, but I thought it was worth a shot. So he gets 2 hits, and I get 3 in an Nazgul. So he does not press naturally and redraws into Orc Patrol. So I hide, and he says GG here because he knows he can't stop me. Let's see, he could play Orc Patrol here. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, no, the best case scenario, pulling an eye or red eye, doesn't matter If he pulls a 2, I can just lose Strider and then move with the ring anyway. So yeah, there's no way to stop me here. Yeah, so we say GG and we don't even finish the game. I mentioned like well played, good call cyclic for a red. Yeah, also remarkably, if there had been a single like 1R, 2R, or 0R still in the pool, then playing Orc Patrol would absolutely have had a shot at saving the day. Because if he revealed me one more time, then I'm out of dice and I can't win anymore this turn. But literally all of them got drawn. I think these 3 got drawn before Mordor, and the 2 1Rs were step 1 and step 2. So yeah, just Orc Patrol actually had 0% odds of revealing me, which is just remarkable. Normally there's like that slight chance, you know. Also, the red 1R got drawn. Yeah, that was in there too. That also could have been an Orc Patrol draw to stop me, but I hit that one the hard way. So, yeah, so that's our game. Let's take a look at the statistics. So, these combat dice are switched. So overall, +4 on hits for me, +2 on sixes for him. Overall, he ended up at net 0 on attacks. So that's okay. But I think the timing of them was very poor. Like he could have gotten the Witch King like 2 turns earlier if he'd rolled even 1 more attack. But his attacks were slow at the wrong time. Like you see these 4 attacks on the board here. Like if he'd had those back then, that would be enough to finish off Helm's Deep. You know, so that might have made the difference of the game just when the action dice showed up. Let's see. I'm overall +1 on movement, +6 on Palantirs. So that can be good. That can be bad. It didn't really feel like a burden this game, just because the movement was still good. But yeah, my ability to muster and move armies was not fantastic this game anyway. Yeah, so that's our game 1. Not sure when we're going to play game number 2. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.